Delighted to welcome Dana White back to the program here. Dana, first and foremost, we hope you are safe and all is well. And let's talk about this. April 18th, I've seen a million interviews you've done on this about how important it is to you personally to put out product right now for your fans to see during this pandemic. Why is this so important to you?
Yeah, the support has been great, too, from the fans and from the fighters. The fighters want to compete. Nobody's competing in this event that doesn't want to compete. And, I've been set on this date. I postponed 3 of my shows, and I said that I was going to go April 18th.
Why is it so important to you, though? What specifically about this time and these events do you think is so important?
Well, I think now is the time, where we need to find solutions. We need to find out how we can get back to normal and keep it safe. And with the UFC, safety is always an issue for us. It's been an issue for 20 years, and I promise you on April 18th, we will go overboard as far as safety is concerned. We'll make sure that everybody who's involved in this event, from traveling there to participating or working the event, everybody will be safe. And we just did this in Brazil a few weeks ago. We had an event there with no fans, and it went off great, and everybody who left that event is healthy.
How would you describe the biggest challenges? What have been the biggest challenges for you and for UFC in putting this together under these extraordinary circumstances?
The biggest challenge is that the world changes every day. I mean, every day when we wake up, there's a whole new set of things that we need to face that have changed overnight. And now, as we get closer to this event, you have forces working against you to make the event not happen. So that's been happening to us the entire time, too. This is the hardest thing I've ever done, without a doubt. The hardest thing that I've ever done, and but it's going to happen April 18th.
What pieces of it have been the most? I'm just looking for something specific, like what I get that the world changes. We've all experienced that in our own different ways. What specific things have happened that have been hurdles you've had to jump over?
Well, obviously, as this thing continued to progress and get worse and worse, I mean, I never thought I'd see the day that Las Vegas shut down and the Strip was closed. I never thought I'd see that day in my lifetime. And obviously that happened. Then as, state by state started to close down, those type of things we faced, and a lot of politics that I'm not going to get into.
Let's get a little into it if we can. What sorts of?
It's not worth it. Listen, I've jumped through a lot of hoops, and I've battled with a lot of different forces leading up to this fight, and it's just not worth talking about. It's happening. We have a fight scheduled April 18th. The fighters are fighting. I have the whole thing figured out. Not only have I figured that out, I figured out how to put on my international fights too. So every time that there's been an obstacle, we figured out how to get around it, and while still, following the rules.
So one of the obstacles, of course, has been figuring out where to hold the fight. Where are you holding UFC 249?
So we're going to be live from ESPN. That's where. It doesn't matter where it is, because the only thing that, first of all, no fans can come. You can't come to the fight. You can't buy a ticket. The only place to watch this in the United States is on ESPN, and that's the only thing that matters. I know that several news sources are putting out, places where they think it is. ESPN is where it is. That's all you need to know.
Understood. What you're referring to is the New York Times is reporting that UFC 249 will be held on tribal land in California. Can you react to that?
ESPN.
So no confirmation whatsoever where it will be. Now, we've also heard about your island. You have procured, what we're told, an island where you will be able to hold future events. What can you tell us about this island?
Yeah, so we're still working on getting that deal done, which we'll have done this week. And so if I keep putting on fights only in the United States with United States talent, I'll run through all my talent very quickly. This is a global sport. We do lots of fights internationally, and we had a lot of fights scheduled internationally. Those will continue. I have an island that we can fly everybody right into, and hopefully by like mid-May. Because the way that this thing looks, it doesn't look like this thing's ending anytime soon. When you listen to what a lot of these politicians are saying, I mean, they're talking about the NFL not going in September. if the NFL can't go in September, what does that mean for school? What does that mean for work? It's just, I don't know. This thing is very confusing.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.